Hello friends, welcome back. I am sure you must have done your homework. Today in this video we are going to learn the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, line by line, and its margin questions also. In previous video we have discussed the questions and answers in the chit chat section and other activities, as well as information about the poet Robert Frost and the theme of the poem. Okay, in this video we are going to learn the whole poem and answers of the margin questions and poem's wider context. Wider context means व्यापक संदर्भ. या कवितेचा आपण व्यापक संदर्भ किंवा अर्थ देखील बघणार आहोत. ओके, लेट्स कंटिन्यू with the poem Stopping by a Woods on a Snowy Evening. First of all, I am going to read the first 4 lines of the poem or the first stanza of the poem and then explain it. Listen to it carefully. Whose woods these are? I think I know. His house is in the village, though he will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Okay, let me explain it. As I told you, the poem is full of imagery, figures of speech, and we can see alliteration, personification, inversion, repetition. These figures of speech used by the poet in this poem. Let me explain these lines. Okay. The speaker of the poem thinks that he knows whose woods those are. Woods means small jungle where he stopped. In short, while traveling on the horse, the speaker stopped near the woods, and he also tells us he knows the owner of those woods. The owner of the woods lives in the village, so he will not see the speaker stopping there to watch the woods, which is filled up with snow. म्हणजेच या कवितेत कवी वाचकांशी संवाद साधताना काय म्हणतो ते पहा. या कवितेमधील संवाद साधणारी व्यक्ती घोड्यावरून प्रवास करत आहे व वाटेत संध्याकाळी तो एका छोट्या जंगलाजवळ थांबतोय. जंगल हिमवर्षाव झाल्यामुळे खूप सुंदर दिसत आहे. सगळीकडे बर्फ पसरलेला आहे व ते सौंदर्य पाहण्यासाठी तो तिथेच थांबला आहे. आणि पुढे जाऊन तो हेही म्हणतो की हे जंगल कोणाच्या मालकीचं आहे हे त्याला माहीत आहे आणि या जंगलाचा मालक आता यावेळी तरी गावात राहत आहे, म्हणजे तो इथे नाही आहे. त्यामुळे कवी जरी त्याच्या जंगलासमोर थांबला असला, सौंदर्याचा आस्वाद घेत असला, तरी तो त्याला पाहू शकणार नाही. ओके फ्रेंड्स, in the very first line of the first stanza, the poet uses inversion, figures of speech. Whose woods these are? I think I know. Okay, as we know, inversion is the figure of speech in which the normal order of words is reversed in order to achieve a particular effect. Okay, inversion means विक्रम in मराठी, म्हणजेच उलटा क्रम. या ओळीमध्ये आपण शब्दांचा उलटा क्रम बघू शकतो. Whose woods these are? I think I know. Instead of these, we can say I think I know whose woods these are. Okay, this is the figure of speech called inversion. See the rhyming words in the first stanza: no, though, and snow. So the rhyme scheme of the first stanza is A, B and A. Okay, let's continue with the second stanza. Let me read it and explain it. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. Let me explain it. Here the poet says to us, according to the speaker, we can say according to the speaker of the poem, his little horse must think it is queer. Here the word queer means strange. In Marathi we can say vichitra. His little horse must think it is a strange thing to stop at a place between the frozen lake and the woods, where there is not even a farmhouse to stay, and it was the darkest evening of the year. Here the word frozen is the past participle of the verb to freeze. Past participle used as an adjective, that is frozen lake. Frozen describes the noun lake, so it is an adjective. Okay, म्हणजे गोठलेलं तळ. And 21st December is the date every year is the darkest evening. Okay, थोडक्यात कवीच्या मते त्याचा घोडासुद्धा विचार करीत असेल की त्याचा मालक अशा ठिकाणी का थांबला असावा, कारण या वर्षामधील ही सर्वात काळोखी अशी संध्याकाळ आहे. शिवाय जंगल व गोठलेले तळे या दोन्हीमध्ये कोठेही आसपास राहण्यासाठी फार्म हाऊससुद्धा दिसत नाही. म्हणून त्याच्या घोड्याला हा प्रश्न पडलेला होता आणि त्याला ते विचित्र वाटत होतं, असं कवीनी कल्पना केलेली आहे असं आपल्या लक्षात येतं. गाईज, सी, माय लिटल हॉर्स मस्ट थिंक इट क्लिअर. In this line we can see the personification figure of speech used by the poet. What do you mean by personification? It is a figure of speech in which an animate object or an idea is given human qualities. Inanimate means निर्जीव, म्हणजेच निर्जीव वस्तू किंवा कल्पना, प्राणी यांना मानवी गुण आहेत असे मानणे. या ओळीत घोडा हा प्राणी आहे व तो विचार करीत आहे असे म्हटलेले आहे व विचार करण्याची क्वालिटी मानवाची आहे. सो ह्या ओळीमध्ये घोडा विचार करत आहे असं म्हटलंय, म्हणून आपण पर्सॉनिफिकेशन फिगर ऑफ स्पीच वापरलेला आहे असं म्हणू शकतो. ओके, the rhyming words of these stanzas are queer, near and year. So the rhyme scheme of the second stanza is A, B, A. Okay, let's continue with the third stanza. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. Let me explain it. So speaker's little horse gives a shake. Shake means हलवणे. Shake to the bell which is attached to its neck to draw his master's attention, as if to ask whether there was any mistake. The only sounds heard other than the juggling of the bells were the sounds of mild wind and the falling of the soft and fluffy snowy flakes. Fluffy means downy. Okay, आणि म्हणूनच आपल्या मालकाला चालू प्रवासात थांबलेलं पाहिल्यानंतर घोड्याने स्वतःच्या गळ्यातील घंटा वाजवून जणू काही मालकाचे लक्ष वेधून घेतले व इथे थांबण्याची त्याची चूक तर होत नाही ना, असे जणू काही त्याला विचारायचे होते. कारण या ठिकाणी फक्त वाऱ्याचा मंद वाहण्याचा आवाज येत होता आणि भुरभुर पडणाऱ्या बर्फाचा देखील फक्त आवाज येत होता. सो द रायमिंग वर्ड्स ऑफ these stanzas are shake, mistake and flick. So the rhyming scheme of the third stanza is A, B, A. Okay. Let's continue the last stanza of this poem. Let me read it. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Written by Robert Frost. Okay, let me explain it. Listen to it carefully. In the last stanza, we can see the speaker was really captivated or attracted by the lovely, dark and deep woods. But he reminds himself that he can't stay on because he has promises to keep. In simple language, we can say the speaker is supposed to discharge his duties on time, and there are lot of many things to do before he goes to sleep. Sleep means either before the retires for the day or in a wider context before the final end comes, means death. Okay. Friends, these lines are very famous lines and they have wider context or wider meaning. या शेवटच्या कडव्यामध्ये कवी खरोखरच जंगलाच्या सौंदर्याने मंत्रमुग्ध झालेला दिसून येतो. म्हणूनच तो म्हणतो आहे द वूड्स आर लवली, डार्क अँड डीप. पण त्याचवेळी त्याला आपल्या स्वतःच्या कर्तव्य व जबाबदाऱ्यांची सुद्धा आठवण येते, जाणीव होते. व ह्या जबाबदाऱ्या कर्तव्य पार पाडण्यासाठी त्याला त्याचा प्रवास या ठिकाणी पुढे न्यायचा आहे, पूर्ण करायचा आहे. विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, या ओळी अतिशय प्रसिद्ध आहेत व या ओळींना अतिशय विस्तृत असा अर्थसुद्धा असलेला आपल्याला दिसून येतो. According to me, lovely, dark and deep woods, which are very beautiful, refers to the everlasting peace. So he wants to stop there, but he has to keep his promises, means duties and responsibilities, before he go to sleep. Okay. In the last stanza, alliteration and repetition, these figures of speech are used by the poet in the poem. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. In this line, D sound is repeated, so it is alliteration. Next, the last line is repeated, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So it is repetition. The rhyming words of the last stanza are deep, keep, sleep, sleep. So the rhyme scheme of the last stanza is A, 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 A. Okay. Friends, the poem is believed to have a reference to the poet's life itself. ही जी कविता आहे ती कवीच्या जीवनाशी संबंधित आहे किंवा त्याच्यावर आधारित असलेली आपल्याला दिसून येते. So the following lines and the words signify something. Let's read. The poem is believed to have a reference to the poet's life itself. What could the following signify? Choose from the bracket below. Okay, for example, the speaker's journey signifies his life. Okay, snowy evening signifies his old age. Lovely, deep, dark wood signifies everlasting peace. Okay, promises signify the duties and the responsibilities of the poet. The word sleep signifies the death. Okay. So the friend, this poem is not applicable for the poet's own life, but also all the human beings. Remember it well. Okay, we are going to solve the margin questions of this poem. These margin questions are based on the first two stanzas. The first question is, where has the poet stopped? The answer of this question is, the poet has stopped in the woods. The next question is, what season of the year is described here? या कवितेमध्ये वर्षाच्या कोणत्या ऋतूचे वर्णन केलेले आहे? The answer is very easy answer. Winter season of the year is described in the poem. Next, what time of the day is described in the poem? म्हणजेच दिवसाची कोणती वेळ कवितेमध्ये वर्णन केलेली दिसून येते. The day described in the poem is evening. Okay. The next question is, on what date every year is the darkest evening? वर्षभरामधील सर्वात काळोखी संध्याकाळ कोणत्या तारखेला असते? I think on 21st December every year is the darkest evening. Okay. There is new words for you. I also told the meaning of this new word to you. Here means strange. In Marathi we can say vichitra. Okay. Harness bells. This is also the new words. Harness bells means bells tied in the neck of a horse to control it. घोड्याला कंट्रोल करण्यासाठी, त्याच्यावर कंट्रोल ठेवण्यासाठी त्याच्या गळ्यात जी घंटा बांधतात त्याला काय म्हणतात? हार्नेस बेल. ओके. Downy flakes means soft feathers like snow flakes falling. म्हणजे हिमवर्षाव म्हणू शकतो किंवा त्याला भुरभुरणारा बर्फ असेही आपण म्हणू शकतो. ठीक आहे. These questions based on the last two stanzas. The first question is, list the sound mentioned in the पोएम. म्हणजेच कवितेतील आवाज दर्शवणारे जे शब्द आहेत ते शोधा आणि त्यांची काय करायची, तुम्हाला यादी करायची आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, हार्नेस बेल्स, साऊंड ऑफ विंड, साऊंड ऑफ सॉफ्ट फिदर्स लाईक स्नो फ्लेक्स फॉलिंग. दीज आर द साऊंड्स मेन्शन इन द पोएम. ओके. द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, व्हाय डज द ट्रॅव्हलर हॅव टू लिव्ह द लवली वूड्स? म्हणजेच त्या प्रवाशाला ते सुंदर जंगल किंवा उपवन का सोडावे लागले? द आन्सर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन, लिसन टू इट केअरफुली. द ट्रॅव्हलर वॉज रिअली कॅप्टिवेटेड ऑर अट्रॅक्टेड बाय द लवली वूड्स. ही इज सपोज टू डिस्चार्ज हिज ड्युटीज ऑन टाइम. He promises himself to keep his word. So he has to leave the lovely woods to keep his wood. Okay friends, I think you do understand this poem. So complete the workshop of this poem in your notebook. Okay, thank you.